Yo, what is up, my basketball family, and welcome back to Green Team Productions. Hope everybody's having a great day out there. So we are about midway through the NBA season, and I really want to take a look at the Brooklyn Nets. So obviously coming into the season, there's a lot of expectation that has a team with Kyrie, KD, and Ben Simmons returning to the court. But after starting only 4-7, then firing Steve Nash, Kyrie dealing with his whole situation, Ben Simmons coming back and not really looking up to form, and then KD basically saying his teammates were trash, it seemed like it was spiraling out of control just as it did last year. But as of late, under coach Jacques Vaughn, the Nets have won 14 of their last 15 games, taking them to be the third best team in the entire NBA, only behind the offensive juggernaut Boston Celtics and the Denver Nuggets. And over this stretch, KD has been putting up absolutely monstrous numbers, averaging 31 points, 6 rebounds with 5 assists. And to go along with that, Kyrie Irving is also putting up a 29 points and 5 assists in this stretch. And not to mention a lot of their role players stepping up in a major way. Of course, being able to integrate Seth Curry back into your lineup was a major hit for the Brooklyn Nets. And also Joe Harris is playing a lot better. But going even further down your bench, you got players like Watanabe, a player who had a hard time finding a home in the NBA, is currently shooting 50% from the field and over 50% from beyond the three-point line. And a player that a lot of people forgot about in TJ Warren, ever since he's came back from injury, he has been a solid contributor, putting up 10 points on 54% from the field. And just overall, the Brooklyn Nets look like an actual basketball team. They don't just look like a whole bunch of individuals out there. Though, of course, they will run their isolation plays because you have two of the best isolation players probably of all time. But with that being said, the ball is moving a lot smoother. This just looks like a coherent group. The defense is better. They're switching a lot more. They just look more active and alive out there on the court. So as of January 8th, 2023, the Brooklyn Nets look like a true contender that everyone thought they would be. But there are still some major concerns that need to be addressed with this team. Starting off with Ben Simmons. Now, I made a video a few months back explaining the value and the impact that a player like Ben Simmons can have on your basketball team, mainly with his defense and distributing abilities, because he's coming to a team with two of the greatest scorers ever. And coming into the season, the Nets were definitely expecting to have a big three, not a big two. But there's just been so many moments this season where Ben Simmons is just having little to no impact on the court. Like this game against the Charlotte Hornets, probably the worst team in the NBA right now. And he posted 2 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists while only shooting 2 shot attempts for the entire game. And this is against the Charlotte Hornets. And there's even been moments during the season where he can't even make it through a full game because he's getting in so much foul trouble. And that's one of the major parts of his game is his defense. And it seems to be that this season, he's not the same defender as he used to be. And on top of that, I said coming in that he wouldn't have to take as many shots because, like I mentioned 30 times before, you're playing with Kyrie and KD. But there is too many times where I see Ben Simmons being too pass first and not even looking at the rim to attack. It's like he's out there actively just searching to give the ball to KD, Kyrie, or the nearest offensive player. And I truly believe in order for the Brooklyn Nets to become who they are and who they want to be, which is a true contender, Ben Simmons has to turn up the aggressiveness. Whether he is missing or not, a 7-foot point guard driving to the rim is going to put constant pressure on your defense. And I don't want to make it seem like he's playing terrible, but he's not playing great. He's playing all right. He's averaging 8 points, 7 assists, and 6 rebounds. Now, I'm going to give Ben Simmons the benefit of the doubt because we have to remember that Ben Simmons did miss an entire NBA season this last year. And not only that, I'm sure he's battling more mental blocks than physical blocks. So I really think that this is just a matter of time. But as I am watching them now, Ben Simmons, you got to step up. You got to do more. I love your game, but you got to do more. Because don't forget, he is replacing the impact that a player like James Harden has, which James Harden is creating anywhere from 20 to 40 points a night between his points and assists. And now I'm not saying I'm expecting Simmons to do that, but just have a little bit more of an impact on the offensive end. And that actually leads me into my next concern, which is that, yes, the Brooklyn Nets have 27 wins on the NBA season, but they are 15-3 against teams below 500 and only a measly 11-10 against teams that are above 500. Compared to a team like the Bucks within the same conference and just one seed lower, they are 12-5 against teams that are above 500, and this is with them missing their second best scorer for the majority of this season. Granted, Kyrie and Ben Simmons have both missed a total of 10 games, so that could be a major reason as to why the Brooklyn Nets struggled against some of the top tier teams early on. So this is not a major issue because a win is a win, but at the same time, we have to see how the Brooklyn Nets are winning their games. But again, just a small concern, but I just wanted to point that fact out to the people that know that the majority of their wins are coming to pretty trash teams. And now on to my final issue with the Brooklyn Nets, and that I think that could really keep them from a championship, and that is their size on the front court. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Nick Claxton. He's an athletic big who is a constant lob threat, will grab you about 8 rebounds a game, and plays with constant great energy. Though he stands at 6'11", he only weighs 215 pounds. And to put that into perspective, people call Kevin Durant skinny, but even he has 10 to 15 pounds on Claxton, which wouldn't be so bad if there weren't so many dominant big men in the Eastern Conference. Because Claxton is a fantastic on-ball defender, but as the game slows down and we get into the postseason, that lack of girth could really hurt Brooklyn in the Eastern Conference. Let's look at Philly. They have a guy named Joel Embiid. He's just a 7-foot, 280-pound monster, putting up 33 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists a game. Or we can go next door. We can look at Milwaukee, who has Giannis, aka Shaq with a handle pretty much, who is putting in 32 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 assists a game. Or we can even look at Cleveland, who have 2 7-footers roaming the paint at all times, in Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. And let's not forget, Jared Allen is an all-star, and Evan Mobley almost made an all-defensive team as a rookie last year. So let's not forget that. Oh, and there's another team, Boston. They have their defensive anchor in Robert Williams. So it's safe to say once it gets into the playoff time, the paint is going to be pretty crowded in the East. But with all that being said, I am extremely excited for the Nets and to see what they do with their future, because they're finally starting to play like the team that we always thought they were. But in my personal opinion, I don't believe they're a contender yet, but I think they are one trade away from being there and just sturdying up their front line. I really think that is their major weakness, because they have role players, they have star players. And I honestly believe that if they could just anchor down that center position, this team has very high hopes. But I'm just somebody who shares their opinion on the internet, so I want you guys to like, subscribe, and comment what you think. I create these videos to start a conversation, so let me know what you guys think down below. You guys have a great and productive day. Peace.